I don't hear anything. It says it's doing stuff. What's wrong? Check. No, it's not that. Next time. That's weird. Let's disconnect it. It's making sound before. Ah, that's what it is. Alright. Okay. So when I was doing this before, I kept playing ahead of the drums, so I could just go back and tweak all the notes, but I kind of want to just try to use this to practice my timing a little bit. So basically I'm trying to play the bass with the drums and not get too distracted by the keys are slightly ahead of the drums for the most part. Trying to get it all in time. And those are the main notes. All right. that sounds. Right away, it's ahead. It gets better there, but no, it's not ahead. You can see it. You can see it right there. Not lining up. It's a little before. Better to be a little behind than ahead. And I think part of the reason is because the you want to hear the transient of the drums. And if the bass comes in beforehand, it'll obscure it. Now this one, is fine because it, wait, no. It is fine, but I was gonna say something else. Look, that one's bad. If I just move it over a little bit, it'll sound better. Sounds way better. You can actually make out the drum. It's nothing to do with just how the drum like masks the, the bass masks the drums. So when you're playing keys, which I normally do, you don't really think about that. If you're playing bass, it's like really important not to get ahead. Anyway, I'm gonna just keep trying it, and if I don't get it and get sick of trying it, I'm just gonna scoot them all in the MIDI editor. I already did, actually. I think this top one, it's already like that. Yeah, I just want to practice my timing. So, just gonna keep pretending to be a bassist. I'm sure you saw variable streaming now, right? She streamed yesterday. She might be streaming now still. She wasn't when I first got on. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely should check it out. What's up, Donnie? Yeah, I saw you in variable stream a second ago. How you doing? Pretty good. I got a haircut. I don't know if you can tell, I'm even balder than usual. And I am I think this is the last Doom Salad track before I will have at least done a little mixing on all of them. And I'm doing the bass, but I noticed I kept playing ahead of the drums, and it's a nice groove. And I thought, well, I could go in and just scoot all the MIDI notes, or I could just use this as an opportunity to practice my timing, playing bass stuff, because you have to be like a little behind for it to sound correct, at least in this style of groove. So yeah, I've just been trying to get it to lock in the right way. And as you can see, like these earlier takes, like on that first one, they're all super early. This one's kind of later, so I've been trying to push it back. That's good. See, that one's still early. You can even see it, it's early. You don't want to hear the drum transient after the bass. You want to hear the bass after the transient of the drum. So basically, like, more like that. Even that one's kind of early. Too late, so I went too hard the other way. That's like, that one's super early actually. Sliver early. I think here I keep getting off again because the piano part is like drawing my attention so much. Because it lines up pretty well with the keys. Anyway, nothing too exciting happening right now, but I'm gonna keep trying to get this timing. Let's see. That was still That was a little early. Hey, very well. Alright, I might give it one more shot after this. I think that was the best one yet, though. Let's see. I mean, it already looks like it is. Most of these are further back. Some of them are a little too far back. I got mixed up in here. I started thinking like the drum is like doing this weird like offset syncopation thing on, and I was trying to follow it, but I think I think maybe that's sort of what was happening, but I don't think I'm gonna try to just keep the bass part stagnant, like keep it the same simple pattern. ahead, but overall this has been pretty good compared to the previous attempts. Weird though, is it seems like I did it like every time. Yeah, I did a busier bass line initially. I'm not really against doing something a little more active, but honestly it's easier to get thrown off, and I'm like trying to focus on this really simple thing of just like not getting ahead of the drums. So anyway, I'm gonna give it one more attempt, and then after that I think I'm just gonna scoot all the MIDI notes around if it's not exactly what I'm looking for, I guess. I mean, everything else was just a jam, so it's not like I'm going through and scooting everything around on the other parts, but so maybe I should even just leave in some of the messiness so it sounds more like a jam, but anyway, alright. I'll give it one more try. Coming a little too late. It's like such a simple thing, but like what's difficult about this is that I can't help but like focus on the piano, because it's doing I'm basically doing the same thing as the piano, but I really have to like really focus on the drums, because the piano sounds fine ahead, but the bass won't. So if I lock in with the piano, it's gonna sound weird on the bass. So I like really have to listen to the drum, make sure I'm like coming in after or like almost instantaneously after the drum hits is like ideal. It's kind of, you know, sure it's not very fun to watch, but it's kind of fun. Kind of hone in on that kind of little detail. And so he did do this kind of syncopated thing. Where's it? It starts here. Sorry, you can actually see it. Yeah, like you can see here where I was kind of like trying to line up with it, and it didn't quite work. It didn't sound very good. Excuse me. And honestly, I could only kind of tell. I wasn't totally sure what he was doing. It started to register, and I like started to follow it. But then, I, after listening back and hearing it, I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Now that I'm hearing it where I don't line up with it, it sounds way better because the syncopation is just more obvious because the bass is consistent. Now we have that. There's kind of a cool interplay there where the bass is like right on where he normally would be, and then the drum is like slightly off. So it just kind of highlights what he's doing a little better than if I actually went with it, like played on those off beats. Yeah, and like this one, it looks super early, but it actually sounds pretty decent. Because it just sounds like a syncopation there. And it's like, he does it here first after, and then again after, I guess. Yeah, it just does like twice. He does it on a different, he does like a different pattern. Yeah, he does kick snare, then he does snare kick. But it's like obviously something he was like doing on purpose, like a syncopated figure he was just doing. Having the bass, I think, brings it out more. I mean, you could hear it without it, but this part, like the groove is different now. He's doing that steady, like an eighth note hi-hat thing, or on the ride or whatever. But also like with the snare and everything, it's a little less groovy. It's a little more like straight ahead, kind of like a toned down rock feel. So it's actually less difficult to get it precise. I mean, it's less demanding of precision. I'm still like, it kind of, I mean, I think so anyway. It kind of feels like on this part you can get away with being a little more ahead, a little more behind. It kind of doesn't even matter. It's just a washier part. And so it's just a little more forgiving, I guess. One thing I've noticed too, like as I'm playing along, like when he does a fill, a lot of times there is, at least what I experience as, like this moment of hesitation before the hit comes in. I don't know that he's actually adding time, or I don't know if he's like adding time or compensating for like a tendency to rush during fills, or it's just something that's going on in my head, like the silence feels faster than the activity. Regardless of what it is, there's definitely like I had to keep like hesitating before coming back in, and I would like listen for like the momentum of the fill. Like he sort of does these he kind of like builds, he like accents the notes in a certain way as he progresses. Maybe I can like find one and explain more specifically what I mean. Like here it's like, it's almost like it gives more room at the end of the fill. That's what it feels like. I don't know if it's true. It's definitely like a sort of lilting thing going on rhythmically here. Like it's not like da 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 da. Like on the yeah, I don't know exactly how to explain it. I kind of wish I did, but like, you can like when he does a fill, like there, you know, he'll like be playing the same drum or whatever, but he accents, like he uses the accenting to like create a phrase with the fill basically, and you're kind of like, as I'm like playing along, I'm kind of like listening for like where's this phrase like ending, because there's like usually it like musically makes sense, like feel like it's sort of like a tendency of his where like the fill will almost like end early, where he'll like put an extra space at the end. Like the fill will like there's like I guess he like puts like a weirdly spaced rest at the end of a lot of his fills, which is, I mean, it sounds cool. It's just like it's like part of his I guess just the way he plays drums, like his musical language or whatever. It's just something I might becoming more attuned to as I'm like trying to follow him a little more closely. At this point, like I've already played through this a bunch of times, and the other times I was trying to follow the drums, but like basically all those fills and stuff, that was kind of like his part of the song, more or less, where it's like more drum focused. And here it's kind of even, it's like everything's disintegrating, but he's kind of like going off even more in his own thing, where I was like, maybe I should just follow the keys here. I think it would make more sense, because when I tried to follow the drums here, it wasn't really lining up. And I think I was misinterpreting what he was doing, which is I think he was intentionally kind of going off here and expecting me to keep the piano stagnant, which I was. And as I was trying to play bass to it just now, like I don't think I was registering that at first. Anyway, I think that's fine. I'm not even gonna edit it, because with a few mistakes, it'll sound a little more organic. And for the most part, that was pretty decent. So just gonna stick with that one. There, now there's a bass line. It's just 2 notes, but it is in 24 Edo. And there, now there's a bass. Now I can turn up the keys again, because they were distracting me. I'm gonna mix this a little bit anyway. I spend like maybe 5-10 more minutes on this, then I'm gonna do something else. I always get distracted. I like these, I don't know what these chords are, but that. I really like that. So I have 4 guitar mics here, and 2 of them are a little brighter and thinner, I guess. Like this one. This one's a little, I guess, more the ambience or whatever. That's pretty clear, but a little darker than this one. It's got a bit more of the top end. It's got a little more of the girth. It's got a bit of the transient, but it is a little kind of on the darker end of tonally, I guess. Yeah, you can really feel the transient on that one. It's kind of neat. You can hear it there, but here it's like more felt. I really like that sound on here, so maybe I'll try to put more of that mic in this one. Another cool thing about having like four mics to use on the guitar is that you can try like different. Well, of course you can like level these out so you can really shape your tone however you like. But another no, I didn't adjust these at all either. But another thing is that you can play with the panning, so you can get like a fuller sound if you like. Teach you FL Studio? I don't even use FL Studio. So no, you teach me. You teach me FL Studio. Or actually don't. I don't even want to use FL Studio. But this is Reaper. But I do have a recommendation. Try going on Google and typing in, or even YouTube, how to use FL Studio. And you know, start clicking links and stuff. All right, let's see. So yeah, these are slightly off. You can see they're very close and you can't hear it. But if I go in and I actually adjust this, it might be, I did this on one of the other tracks, it might actually sound a little better. It's kind of crazy, but like just getting them to line up, the tone might be just a little fuller and it might even sound slightly louder. Because when they're at a phase like this, they you get like subtle, these are like really close, so it's not a big deal, but you get like subtle comb filtering and phase cancellation, so it'll like affect the perceived volume and stuff like that. So I'll actually go through, it's like very little. So the top one is the first one. But it looks like they're all in phase. So as you can see, like the first hump is on the positive side on all of these. So a cool thing about our Reaper is it's really easy to invert the phase. There's literally a button for it. But if it, on like one of the other tracks, like one of these was out of phase, and you can just click a button and it puts it back in phase. And it's a really subtle difference. Honestly, you could probably just get away with not even doing it, but you know, it's one of those like kind of like tweaky things where it's like it does sound slightly better. So yeah, if you just want that, if you just want it to sound as good as you can get it to sound, it's maybe worth a while. And of course, if they're like really badly out of phase, then it'll actually sound like a really bad, well, not really bad, but it'll be a little more noticeable. Hey, what's up, Variable? How is the rest of your stream? I think these are lining up. Yeah, so you can see these now. All the humps match. And I'll jump ahead a little ways to make sure that they are still together. And yeah, as you can see, they're still together. And yeah, it's a very small adjustment. But it might be noticeable. It might not. Am I gonna mess around at 26? I mean, I definitely can. I'm always down to try stuff out. I mean, 26 is great. I love 26. I haven't played with it in a while. So, yeah, I'm down to do some 26. I think I'm actually going to do a little longer stream tonight. I might do that on, maybe not every Saturday. Well, I guess it's technically Sunday morning, but yeah, I'm not in a rush to get out of here, so I might even do a little of both. But yeah, I might do like I'm probably just like not gonna worry about the 2-hour self-imposed limit on Saturdays. Kind of just roll with it. You did 3.5 hours. Yeah. No, I mean, I've done long streams. I enjoy it. I just, you know, I have not been progressing on my album very quickly, so it's just to make sure I'm like progressing on that fast enough, or faster, I guess. It's still not fast enough. It's still like super slow. I have I'm like not even halfway done with it. Probably, I hope I'm a third of the way done. And I'm not even talking about this. I'm talking about my other, the Doom South stuff I'm only doing on stream. This track is just keys, guitar. I added some bass. It's in 24. The keys are, I think, in like JI. It's like some kind of JI subset thing. The bass is just 2 notes, but they're like a I guess they're a neutral step apart or something. I thought I actually kind of matched the piano better than doing whole steps. So yeah, it's downy, and or is it a yeah, it's like downy and F. Yeah, exactly. Or since we're in 24, I'd call it E half flat. But yeah. Now that the app is pretty much on. According to Minimeters, it's yeah, it's pretty close. Maybe a couple cents out of tune, but And actually, I, I do think the guitar is a little stronger. It's kind of subtle, but it does poke out a little more. Another thing too is that I haven't done. I just learned this the other day or relearned it after forgetting it. Um, your overheads are like pretty much always going to be delayed compared to your other mics, like all your close mics, which makes sense because they're literally further from the drums. So you'll actually get a better sound if you line up your overheads. So I've been, and probably imagine everybody does it this way. You can just line it up with the snare. So find the snare hit on the overheads, line it up with your snare hits in the close mics, and it'll sound a little better for the exact same reasons. There won't be any, or it'll at least reduce the phase cancellation, and any subtle comb filtering that might be occurring, which I guess is the same thing, really. I think it's pretty much the same thing. Or it's like comb filtering is the audio effect that can result from phase interference or whatever. So yeah, here you can see the snare hits there are like pretty far behind the snare here. So I'm just gonna move those over. And now looks like, hold on one second. I'm actually gonna move this up here so I can, it looks like these are actually, oh wait, I think this bottom, so yeah, so here we go. So the bottom and the top snare, if I increase the size of these, you can see they're actually out of phase. Or not out of phase, but their phase is inverted. So see, this one goes up as this one goes down. They're pretty much lined up. They're not perfect, but they're close mic. So as you can see, it's like super close anyway. And also, one's the snare bottom, so it has all the, it's got all the rattle. You can hear the rattling there. And the other's the top. It's the drum head you're hearing there. But yeah, you can see this goes up when the other one goes down. So the overheads are matching up with which one? Because the overheads are in phase with each other. So with the snare, like the snare goes up and then down. So you can see this goes up and then down. So they're in line with the snare head. So I'm gonna invert the phase of the bottom because and you probably can't even hear the difference, but you may be able to. Sometimes it'll, like, I did this the other day and it was hey, what's up, Davey? Depending on your reference pitch, it could be up F. Well, it's in 24, so it'd just be F, I guess. And then yeah, the bass is in 24. it'd be F and E half flat. Oh, no, 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 yeah. No, no. Davey the Hug Monster. Oh, right on. Right on. Alright. So, anyway. So, yeah, this is a snare with the phases aligned. At least theoretically aligned. Kind of quiet. I'll just turn it up. Honestly, it doesn't sound that different. Honestly, that first one sounds better to me. So I think I'm just gonna keep it. There, the phase supposedly, unless I click the wrong button. Try it again. So what happened before when I did this? I did this on some vanilla music I'm doing. And the piano parts were slightly. I have 3 mics on my piano, and one of them was on the opposite phase of the other one. And when I would flip the polarity on that one so it matched up, tonally it was almost identical. It actually sounded slightly maybe quieter, but the panning was different. Like, I realized that I was losing some of the stereo image because of the inversion of the, like, because the phases were out of sync or whatever. So I kept the phase inversion because it improved the stereo image. Although tonally, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what was different about it. Tonally, it sounded slightly weaker, but because it improved the stereo image, I thought it was a net positive. So we'll see what happens with these snares. This is supposedly in sync. Like, that one sounds snappier with the yeah, so you can hear how it affects the timbre. Like, it's a little like snappier and a little more like crisp, I guess. And then when I invert the polarity of the snare bottom, it's a little deeper. So I guess on paper, like, this would be correct, unless I mean, also maybe I could line these up a little closer. They do seem slightly off, but they're very close. They're so close that it would be difficult to adjust, because it's hard to tell where the and I don't know how much of that is actually like the, see, the peak here and the trough here, like, are pretty well aligned. And they're not capturing the same thing. Again, the snare mic is capturing the snare head, and this is getting like the rattly bottom thing, whatever you call that. So kind of don't even want to try moving it. They look pretty well aligned. So I think this is it. I think tonally I'm attracted to this without the phase inverted on the snare bottom, because I just like a snappy snare. But I think that when you invert the polarity, it kind of seems like you get a more defined sound, and it's probably more accurate to reality, I'm assuming. Like, if you heard the snare in the room, it actually sounds a little more like this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it this way since the tone, although it's not my preferred like EQ, so to speak, it is a fuller tone, so I can probably get a better sound after I apply some processing if I start with the fuller tone with the inverted polarity on the snare bottom. So now that those are synced up, I'm going to try to sync up the overheads to the snare. So you can see there it's slightly delayed, which is normal, of course. But yeah, I just saw in a video somebody was saying you should do this, so I just started doing it. So basically I'm just lining up the snare hits on the overheads. That doesn't look right. I did that wrong. Oh, where was it before? And that looks wrong. I think I just pulled it too far back. You know, probably doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's not going to be anyway. Definitely don't want the overheads to be like ahead. I think that would be weird. If we listen to adjust the overheads in the snare, it should sound like a single snare. Kind of weird that polarity inversion. I kind of feel like you hear more of the room with it on. Hold on, let me check that again. It's kind of such a subtle thing. I don't know what actually matters on this. I got a snap here. That's definitely fuller though, so I kind of stand by that. It still seems to be the case. Let's compare. Actually, I'm gonna move the I'm gonna undo everything I just did. Is that where it was before? Okay, I think this is where it was initially. So, where were we? We'll listen to this. Oops. If we just listen to the overheads and the snare, that's how it is normally. Now let's see if we can actually hear the difference after it's adjusted. I think it does sound a little fuller actually. So one more time. There it was. Okay. So here's how it was. And then oh, I can't redo it. Oh, that's silly. I wonder why. And then there it is together. I can't tell, honestly. It sounds about the same. Oh yeah, turn that way up so we could hear it. Okay. do think the snare sounds a little better now, actually. That sounds a little better. Well, this feels like a session with Mick double up. Okay. Never heard of him. But I'm glad to finally remind people of Mick double up. No, I am, you know. I'm an aging person. He he does more comping. What does that mean, comping? Like he plays more, or he's accompanying somebody. What is it? I don't know what you mean. That can mean several things in music. I have no idea what it means in music production. Anyway, that's enough of that for tonight. I'm gonna do the ear trainer, and then I'll noodle around on the linnstrument. I think I'm gonna start keeping the ear training sessions a little shorter because I'm noticing I'm getting like I think I'm overdoing it a little bit because I've been making some weird mistakes, and that can be like that can just be a sign of overdoing it in general. And I don't really know what the limit is supposed to be on something like ear training, but apparently it's pretty short for me if this is the case. Because I was making some really weird mistakes that they're like not even just the other night, but like just lately, like thinking seconds or thirds, and you know, I mean, you're gonna make mistakes along the way. Maybe it's just I'm noticing weirdness because I've been doing this a lot more than I ever have. But it's odd because I was feeling really starting to get really comfortable with 12 Ito, and then started making the most bizarre mistakes. So I think I'm just gonna do like maximum 2 rounds of any trainer, like trying to get a high score. And then if I do any more with them, I'll just do more specific intervals. So anyway, I always start this with just doing 12 Ito as a warm up. And anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, like my worst score yet. All right, very nice. I made a couple mistakes. I don't usually get any wrong on that one, but or yeah, I do. What am I saying? Anyway, all right. Okay, let's try some quarter tones. That sounds so weird. I swear that was wrong, dude. So I thought the neutral third was a subminor third. I can never, honestly, I like never think it's a neutral third, whatever it is. And in fact, one time I thought it was a super major. It was also neutral. I should like try to learn those a little bit better. What is going on with the fourths today? It's so strange. That's weird. I keep thinking seconds or thirds. I never used to do that. 90? What's my high score? I think it's, oops, 50 something. Or 30 something. 38. Oh, jeez. I'm never going to beat that. It looks hard. I mean, if you have a great ear, it's easy. If you're like me, it's very hard. It is hard. But it does get easier though. It does feel easier anyway, even if I'm not actually any better. So I'm gonna just do the thirds for a little practice. I'm gonna try to keep it limited. I'll do like 20. So here's 1. Just 2. 3. 4. So that I never hear the neutral. It just never registers. Appropriately named because it's very subtle, I guess. I think this is 5. 6. Mm-hmm. This. I can't even sing that note. What is it? I guess this. Well, I think it's this. No, it's not. What the hell? It's either this or this. I think it's subminor. It's minor. No, that's subminor. It's a minor or subminor? Or neutral? It's neutral. It's a minor or subminor? Or a neutral again? It is neutral again. I think it's just major third. No, that's super major. That's major. Is that super or neutral? I think it's super. All right, two more. I lost track, but I think that's super. That's major. Okay. So yeah, the neutral is what I was trying to do was sing the interval in like because naturally you're gonna start to sing the interval you know, which I know minor and major third. What's up, DMG? So if I get in that zone with the minor or major third, and then the interval I don't know, if it sounds like the interval I'm trying to sing and failing at is higher or lower, then I can figure out, oh, that's got to be this or that or whatever. So one of those intervals, I kept thinking it was a sub minor third actually, and I was singing the minor third, but as I was singing it, it's hard. It's kind of hard to sing the quarter tone intervals, but the 12-veto intervals are, you know, quite easy and natural to sing. So I don't know if natural is the right word, but I'm definitely used to it. So, you know, as I was singing the minor third, then I was realizing, oh, it's actually, the actual note is actually higher. So then I could tell, oh, okay, I guess it's neutral, and I was still basically guessing, but it ended up being correct. So yeah, I'll definitely like as I progress through these, like start to do more singing with it to try to, and you know, anyone who like wants to do any ear training, and if you're having a hard time with it, I do think, and actually that's what when I was initially doing this on stream, I was never singing along to it. Not that I've never tried that, but you know, people in chat were saying like, you know, he's trying to do all this without even singing any of the intervals, and they were kind of making fun of me. And then when I started doing it, it actually helped like tremendously. So it's a good idea. Try to like sing. You know, it's a good idea to try to sing along with your ear trainer. But at some point, you also do want to just know the intervals. So, but, you know, when you don't know them, I do think it can help. So it's it's giving me so many fifths. Ah, that hurts. I knew it was that too, and I second guessed myself. Which I guess means I didn't really know it. 60. So, yeah, this is 19 equal, if you don't know. And 19 equal, it has all the familiar intervals. So 126 cents, it's basically that's your half step. 189 is your whole step. 316 is your minor third, major third, perfect fourth. You have two tritones. Basically, either one's fine as a tritone. They're actually really easy to confuse. And then fifth, minor sixth, major sixth, minor seventh, major seventh. But then you also have sub minor and super major intervals. So you have sub minor second. I mean, it's, yeah, sub minor second, super major second, which is sub minor third, super major third, which is like also like a flat four, I guess. Sub minor six, super major sixth. So those intervals are, and then a super major seventh, and those are kind of they sound weird, honestly. Most of the super and sub, especially the super major six sounds very strange, and the sub minor six is like ghastly. And it's just, this is a cool interval. This is one of my favorites in 19. It's also easy to kind of mistake it for a fifth, oddly enough. It really depends on the context. So sometimes, you know, an ear trainer gives you notes at random, so there's no like established harmonic context, but there's accidental harmonic context that occur because the notes are being fed to you at random. So you'll actually interpret this in some musical framework, not even realizing it. So in some context, you might hear this interval. Usually it's going to sound like a super squashed sixth, or like the nastiest fifth you've ever heard. But yeah, sometimes it just sounds like a straight up fifth. It's very bizarre. So it's another thing that's weird about doing like a lot of ear trainers. You kind of have to like, sometimes you have to like give it a second to like kind of clear your head of whatever was happening, because you'll like interpret the harmony differently based off of what you just heard before, and that can be confusing. Um, and I'm not really sure why that. I'm guessing it's because it's like you'll associate certain sound, like certain harmonic changes with different like if you hear a if the overall harmonic context appears to be like minor or something, even though you have major intervals in that, maybe it's something like that. I don't really know what it is. I'm just guessing, just rambling at this point. But point being, like, I don't know what my point is actually. I have no point. And yeah, you can confuse like that sub minor six with that tritone because they're both close to the fifth. Which is weird. And like, I don't know if that's super major or major. It's actually minor seven, so. But even like the regular intervals, because it's not 12 equal, it does sound a little odd. But they do basically line up. Like that does sound like a major second, even if it's a little, maybe a little different. So I don't know if that's that tritone or that sharp five. So it's a sharp five because I hear it wanting to. When I hear a fifth, I hear it want to pull up the octave a lot of times. And like, so that I can tell that's a fourth because I'm like da da ba 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 da, da. You know, you can hear that. Einklang not music or whatever. Also can hear like that sound like minor third, and that's like. Da, 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 da. So you if you have some associations in your head, that'll help. But that really only helps with the 12 Ito intervals. So for the novel pitches, right? You have to you kind of have to use what you know and then adjust from there. So you can kind of hear the subtle deviations, or you can hear like this interval sounds like a weird version of this, but yeah, a variable is supremely gifted. Um, Variable eventually is going to be number one on like all of these, unless unless a challenger approaches with a similarly buffed ear. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's 19 Ito. So yeah, some of these are like this I sometimes confuse with this because I hear a tritone as like a weird fifth, but I also hear this. It could be like a wolf fifth kind of. It's a little sharp, but it could be like a lot of times I hear the fifth pull up to the next octave, Okay. Or whatever. So can't sing, but I'll hear like the distorted version of that, and I'll be like, oh, is it the flat or the sharp? I always get the flats and the sharps. Like I can tell it's off. I can't tell which direction though. Which I'm realizing that. Anyway, I'm gonna do 1 or 2 rounds of this, and then I'm gonna do something else. So, like, it sounds like a minor 6, kind of, but I think it's neutral. It's actually major. I was just wrong. Like that, it's a 4th. I can't tell if it's minor or major, so I'm going to guess it's neutral. And it is. And so this, can't tell if it's minor or major, so I'm going to guess it's a neutral 3rd. And it is. So that's close to the 5th. It could be that minor 6, but it's not really that close, so I'm assuming it's this. And actually, I was wrong. It was the lesser tritone. Yeah, the tritones are hard. So it sounds like I guess like a minor 6. It could be neutral. It sounds weird. It was minor 6. So in 17 Ito, the intervals are a little different. They're like a little more off compared to I can't believe that was minor 3rd. But yeah, I'll explain that in just a second. Wrong one. I meant to click the other one. I meant to click the right one. So it's neutral 6th, major 3rd. That was a 4th. So that's either that neutral 2nd or the minor 2nd. I think it's neutral. And it was. That sounds like a major 3rd. It's either neutral or minor again. I think it's neutral. Maybe that's minor? No, it's neutral. It's the minor 3rd. That's neutral 3rd. Weird. That sounds like a not a 5th, but like I hear it pulling up to the octave. It's either that tritone or that. I think it's a tritone. It is. Because usually in 17 the so that was a neutral 7th. I thought that was major. So yeah, that's pretty bad. But yeah, in 17 you have the minor and the majors, but then you have neutral intervals. But actually everything is kind of like exaggerated in 17. So your minor intervals are even more minor, and your majors are like super major basically. Like the major 3rd is 424 cents. If you consider the JI 3rd 5/4 to be your true major 3rd, which I think is debatable, but if you do consider that then this is very super major. I think the major 3rd, as we generally interpret it, is already so north of 5/4 that we could argue that something a little sharper is a real major 3rd. That like a 5/4 is like a down major, more or less. But in any case, you have a really sharp major 3rd, and then you have a sharp major 2nd, and then you have a flat minor 3rd. So everything that's normally minor is even more minor. Everything that's normally major is even more major. And then you also have these neutral intervals, which is really cool. You have a neutral 2nd, which is easy to confuse with like a just regular half step, but it's a little wide. It sounds sick. neutral third, which is cool. And this one is like very neutral. It's like 350 is like the 24 Ito neutral. So that's like 3 cents shy of that. But yeah, some of these are kind of like you could maybe interpret that as a major 6, but in 17 it's neutral. So a lot of times the neutral ones are the ones that are confusing. So for me personally, the minor second and neutral second are easy to confuse. And then anything with the sixths, like it's like hard to tell if it's the real version or neutral. Sometimes I think it's a minor third, but it's a neutral third. Blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna do one more round of this, and then I'm going to play some music. I'm gonna jam on the instrument a little bit. Ah, I knew that too. 26. Is that a new high score? What is my high score? High score is 32. 26 is definitely a high score. Hell yeah. That's cool. So now I'm on the third page. Well, I will be once it updates. Oh wait, still looking at the right one. What's that? There we go. Cool, cool. I'm almost caught with variable. Oh, I was 1 second and one guess behind. All right, anyway. Cool, cool. And yeah, some of these, the tritone is like super hard to hear. Also like this neutral in the major 7th. I think I'm gonna do like a little practice of I'll do like 5 of each. So I'm gonna try these. Throw on this one too. It's either gonna be minor 7, neutral 7, or major 7. Major. It's minor? Yeah. Minor? Neutral? Major. Neutral? Oh, I got them all right. Okay. And then I'm gonna try some of these. These tritones are like, I can never tell these apart. That's right. Well, don't give me the same one. That doesn't even count. Alright. Cool, cool. So yeah, we'll do some 26 Edo stuff now. So yeah, I just need to get my instrument set up. Just do a new project. I'm actually gonna run to the restroom in a second. I'll get this going first. Where's pigments? Dude, where's all my plugins? Where's Will Sonic? I should grab my glasses too. Would be cool to like figure out a good layout for this. This one has 4. It's already set up for that. 3. All right, let's look up some 26 Edo music. I'll be back. Wow. Alright. That was that. Alright, so yeah, I haven't done 26 in a while. 26 is really nice because it's basic scale. It's called flat tone. And basically in 26, all of your major and minor thirds are closer to neutral. So it's more subdued. Which you can get a really kind of like a bittersweet, melancholic, sort of nostalgic sort of tone playing in like a major key. Like it has a really good it's a really nice sounding Lydian scale. But yeah, it's just the subtlety, that difference in inflection where it brings everything kind of down. So yeah, as you can see here, like the 5/4 representation in 26 is like flatter than just even. So it truly is like a down major third. And but you do have like a super major too. And yeah, and that 26 includes 13. 13 is like honestly like I don't dislike many tunings, but and I should revisit it. One of my favorite songs is actually in 13, but I'll put it this way, I always have a hard time with 13. And it's literally the whole tone scale of 26. Or whole tone scale is maybe not the right way of putting it, but it kind of is, yeah, I guess. So yeah, the whole tone scale of 26 is basically 13. Yeah, it is every other step for sure. So anyway, I bring that up to say that you could definitely do some pretty interesting Zen harmonic stuff in 26, but flat tone is so straightforward um, and easy to do that, and it sounds so good that pretty much every time I've played in 26, that's kind of what I've done. So maybe today I'll try to do something else. Try to expand my horizons a little bit, but yeah, flat tone just sounds great. Yeah. Anyway, cannot recommend highly enough. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna try to not do flat tone at least at first today. Let's see. So here it gives you the flat tone stuff. I don't know if I've tried organ. So the simplest version goes 5/5/2 5/2 5/2. So a neat thing about the linnstrument is that I can go in and it has a scale selector and editor. So you can actually go in and you can choose to highlight certain notes of the scale. So if I want to try out like this organ scale, which I do, I can just go in here and it gives you the step pattern here. This is how many steps of 26. So basically you start on the root and then you're going to go up 5. So my root's this first little pink thing, and then I'm going to take out 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's my next note, and then you have 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have 1, and then you have 2. I think I did too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Yeah, I did that wrong because you have to include the first notes. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So that looks right. So this is this orgon, which it's based off of basically 7 steps of 26, which is a minor third, but not the yeah, just the plain old minor third. So it's gonna have like a diminished quality. And another thing you can do on the linnstrument is you can arrange your, and you can do this like on a Lumitone too, of course, any like customizable keyboard, which there are not a ton of them, but so I could lay it out like that if I want to. I kind of don't want to though. I kind of want to get it. I kind of want to go back to where we were because it was. I like the diagonal layouts a little bit. Although it'd be cool if I could get it to diagonally go this way. So maybe I'll try to find that somehow. Oh, this one looks interesting too. And actually, that's a cool scale. So. Is that what it always sounds like? So if we do like this. No, for some reason that layout like just reveals this. So that's how it's supposed to go. No. How's this supposed to go? It's supposed to go like that. But this sounds really cool. It's like an abbreviated version of that. Is that the same thing as that? So that's just normal. It doesn't sound like that when I do this. What am I not understanding? Oh, that's it. So that's not what I want. What if you do it like this? There we go. So yeah, basically gonna scale off the minor third is like weird. It's really diminishing. So that's a 7-note scale. Maybe if I try this other version, because we'll have whole steps. We'll be alternating whole steps. No, alternating two types of half step, but when they combine, they'll make whole steps. So this version has just 3 and 2. Look at that, that's cool. Where'd that go? Oh. I'll try one more and then I'm gonna give up on this because it's terrible. Do this 3-2-3-2-1. 3-2-3-2-2. 3-2-2-3-2. Oh, I did it wrong. Let's try this again. So 3-2-3. 2-2-3. 2-2-3. 2-2. What does this sound like? It'd be cool to do like a bass line in that. So let me boot up Trillion. And find a cool sound. I'll leave this, go to 12 ETO for a second until I find a good sound. Actually, kind of like that. Alright, let's just do that. I don't want to spend too much time picking out a sound right now. Can always change it later. So here's 26. One thing I've noticed with Trillion that can be tricky is sometimes the range doesn't want to go too low. You run out of notes really quickly for some reason in Trillion compared to some other synths. So this is scale loaded up. No, what the heck is this? Oh, that's right. Okay, so I might have to go into Scale Workshop and update the tune file. What is this one? This one is 2 and 3, right? I'm just gonna do 3 and just do 2 on here. That sounds terrible. Why does it sound like 2 sounds are happening? So yeah, I do think I'm having an issue with that. So I'm gonna go into Scale Workshop. I'm gonna make a 26 Edo file, but I'm going to make the bass note lower. Normally the bass note is, well, I've already done that, as you can see. So normally this is higher. So I'm just gonna make this new tune file. I'm gonna rename it. So I don't try to use it on other synths where it might be fine on the other ones. And then, yeah, we'll just try that out. Should have done 26 first, but I'll fix that later. Now I can actually probably transpose this up a couple octaves and it'll sound good. I think I actually overdid it a little bit. I did, but we have the full range. Anyway, okay. Oh, have a good one, Davey. Easy access to 7/4. It's just 3 minor thirds up. Okay. Yeah, you have that Nautilus too. A little clicky. This temp sounds a bit uninviting to you. You'd likely give up. What do you mean temp? What are you talking about? The tone? The timbre? Oh, the temperament. Yeah, I honestly don't like it that much. I'm gonna try to do something with it though. Yeah, check out Variable stream. You know, it's funny. Variable streamed twice. I think on Variable's first stream, she got more views than any of my streams. Uh, so all it took was one stream. Variable is already beating me at the microtonal streaming game. But yeah, go check her out. It's good stuff. You sometimes fight with unfriendly scales. You go away if you see ear training. It's boring to watch. I think it's the sort of thing since I was watching Variable stream because I've never seen someone do do what I'm doing specifically. So I've seen similar stuff, of course, but watching Variable stream, that's probably the most kind of like what I've been doing. Of course, there's some differences. Like Variable doesn't use a face cam and plays Lumitone. So I think the Lumitone itself is quite appealing. Like it's a really neat instrument just to see. I think it definitely inspires a lot of curiosity. But when I was watching Variable stream earlier, I was like, this is like a good thing to kind of just like have on in the background, like while you're doing other stuff. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily something you would want to just do. Just watch this. Like I could watch like I could watch people play like certain games and get pretty engrossed in it. But I've never watched music streams much. Um, I've caught a little of like I've seen Paleacs a few times. I've watched while I'm eating, and I've seen some of like Zia Rose's. I caught one live for like 10 minutes or something, and I've watched the restreams, but or listened to it anyway in my car. But yeah, I don't know. Music is weird. It's like I don't know if I want to just watch someone make music. I think it depends on if they're doing if they're doing like if they're doing something I want to understand and they're kind of talking you through it or you can follow along somehow, it's better. And I do like when I'm watching gamers stream, I really like it when they kind of fill you in on what's happening. Like it's always nice when they're like considerate of people who are maybe interested but don't really do it. Maybe they are like do tangentially related things, but it's really cool to watch someone stream. They're doing something, especially if they're like really competent and they're like explaining kind of what's going on. Um, so that I I try to think of that when I'm doing this, but I don't think I'm super competent in it is kind of the missing piece, but I do try to like fill people in on one, but then again, sometimes I don't even feel like talking at all, so I just don't. But yeah, I mean, it is nice to have a smaller stream too and like be able to actually engage with the streamer and kind of influence what's happening, or at least the conversation. Streams with 100 people or not, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but there are music streamers. Some of them are pretty popular. I've never watched like a popular music streamer. I've never even bothered looking. I think one time there was like a producer on the front page of Twitch, and it was like a guy and his friend in a studio. You could tell it was a pretty nice studio, and they just kept restarting this beat that they made, and they were like really stoked about it, and they just kept restarting it, and they kept like dancing and like laughing and like high-fiving each other, and they just did that over and over again, and it was just bizarre. Like it sounded really cool, but it was like it was very bizarre. Like, you know, they weren't communicating with anyone in the chat. There was no like you couldn't even see the music. Like there was no computer view at all. It was literally the camera was on them. You could tell they were staring at the computer, but there was just a camera on them. It's like what would you do with this? Like yeah, I mean, I guess if you really like the music, you would just turn it on to like listen to it, you know, which that's cool. That's fine. But yeah, I like the interactivity of streaming. That's like a cool thing. Some famous dude bros, yeah. So I think I'll just record, maybe get a click going. But yeah, what I really want to happen with this stream is just, I want it to just inspire more microtonal activity, and maybe just if it can in any way like turn people on to it or help like, you know, expand the community in any way. Like honestly, the fact that Variable started streaming, like that is like so validating to me, having streamed, because it's like, I don't know, like I want to see more people streaming this kind of stuff, and like, so to me it's like, wow, it's like already like doing something to just like put help like, you know, put the tiny tones out there, put Zen harmonic music out there a little more. It is a lot of preaching to the choir, but people do come in who are not familiar. It's not like they're not necessarily, well, actually, like Dom and Ruan, well, Dom hasn't been here much lately, but like they're both regulars, and neither of them are microtonalists. They're aware of it, but they don't really do it. And there's definitely a few other people who pop in, maybe not a lot, but they're definitely like recurring viewers that they don't really do it, but they're interested enough to see what's happening. So yeah, I do think you know, and every little bit, you know, every little bit counts. And I have very low expectations anyway. I'm like stoked to see anything. I'm so stoked that there's like y'all come in here more than once. I just think that's crazy. So You're a rabbit Shanghai weirdo. Right on. I think that glide is annoying me. So I'm gonna just turn that off. Maybe that last one. It's fine. Where does it start? Oh, right there. Okay. So I think that's it. And then I mean you don't have to you don't have to you could get like a USB mic and just don't worry about the camera. That might be like an affordable in, as long as you're doing some like screen sharing type thing. And I don't know, there's a good chance your accent isn't, as long as you're like intelligible, I think it's probably fine. But I don't know, maybe you're right though. I don't know. But yeah, if you ever do stream or even like record a video and just want some feedback, I'd be happy to check it out. Let you know my thoughts. So oh, I see. Yeah. Um, I lost my thought. What was it? I was gonna say, oh yeah. I was gonna say, I'm actually really curious what you even like how you, cause you've told me you have a linnstrument, but you made like your own program for it, and blah blah blah. You've talked about your you've talked about your music a little bit, how you use like JI scales and all that. I would be really curious just to see like what you do. And if I remember correctly, you like don't have formal music training. I think it would be interesting to like get some insight to that perspective of like a since you're like a pure microtonalist and you have like a very unique um yeah, you have a unique method of going about it too, since you're basically like self-taught and creating your own tools and also creating your own understanding. So just to kind of see what that's like to like be able to watch you create music and maybe even explain your thoughts. I definitely would be curious to see that. I think that could be interesting. Cause I mean I literally just wonder about that. I'm like, what every time we've talked about it before, I'm like, what is Doman even doing? So yeah, it could be cool. Oh yeah, and you use like modular stuff too, which I find very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could afford modular gear because I would definitely get some, and eventually I'd like to, but I think we make like a super basic drum beat. Um, Actually, Superior Drummer I realized has all these. Well, I was watching a video and it has like some really cool like electronic drums I wasn't aware of, but it has like a bunch of sample hits and stuff that you can use, and it has these kits that it comes with. Some of them are a little more experimental, and I would kind of like to try some of these out with some more electronic style stuff. So like that one's probably a little too wild, but it's got, yeah, like that. I can start with that, and then you can add to it, of course. Um, so yeah, with the Superior Drummer has so many hits you can program. Fortunately, somebody put a file online with all the MIDI notes labeled. So I'm really glad they did that, because it would be such a pain to go through and label all these. Alright, I already don't like this, so let's try something else. That's definitely better. I'll try adding a hi-hat as well. thing I should do eventually is actually like come up with a drum pad layout on the instrument, because when you just plug in all the drums, it you know, it can sometimes sound, especially if you're playing along with organic recorded playing, it can sound like way too stiff. And even like going in and like doing like just the kick and the snare, and then maybe going in and doing the hats, or even just plugging in the rest of it or whatever, like doing some of it, performing some of it can really improve the sound. So at some point I might get into that, because well, instrument is actually probably a pretty nice surface for doing drum stuff. Because you kind of drum a lot, you kind of drum it anyway. So yeah, it definitely, I should try that at some point. It's nice I remember what you said. Oh, right on. Well, hey, glad you're here, and always nice to you know, get to know other people making microtonal music. It's yeah, it's so interesting, and yet it's such a niche thing still. It's nice to connect with other people who have that, who are into that. You played a rattlesnake? I don't know rattlesnake. Is it quarter tone? It's a quarter tone thing, right? Everything they do is in 24, right? I'm sure I've heard it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head or anything. I've listened to microtonal banana. So there's all these. What are these? I'll try something else. I just want a regular snare. Oh, that'd be cool. Let's try it out. Let's give us a little quantization. I can just hit the Q. Maybe not all the way, but it sounds kind of bad with the drums. I'm going to try first is just quantizing the low notes, but I'll quantize them perfectly. And that clearly is not good. So maybe I'll try like halfway. Actually, I liked quantizing the whole thing, so I'll just go back to that. Oops, not want that. So okay, so there's a couple of these I need to tweak. Alright, there's one. Take the snap off. That should have latched to that. Actually, that's why it's. I literally just missed a note here when I was playing, so I'll just. I did here as well. I've just played it like way too softly. I don't know what is going on here. It's weird. The heck is this? This is ridiculous. I'm a professional. Alright, let's what in the schisma? Alright, so we have a bass line and a kick and a snare, so let's try pigments now. Make sure it's in tune with the bass. So to tune it with the bass, I can play them both at the same time and just make sure they're the same note. Obviously they are not the same note. I can just tune pigments to it. It's pretty close, so whatever. Let's just do that. that's good. So that should work. And that's a nice thing about playing in equal divisions of the octave versus doing like a random JI scale is as long as one of the notes is in tune, the rest of them should be in tune. Also, like, why it's very daunting to like try to figure out JI music by ear, because you would have to tune your synth. You have to find out what the fundamental is. Make sure you're not misinterpreting the fundamental before you like try to tune your synth to the song and all that. Oh hell yeah. Sodoman sent me a video. Oh, that looks awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, this is really cool. And yeah, I find modular stuff like fascinating. And in fact, I'd probably be similarly into modular if it wasn't so expensive. And again, I think eventually I will get into it, but I have to have the funds for it. But yeah, something like this I would definitely be interested in seeing on a stream. I can see how like it'd be annoying to like just sit there and hold the camera and record yourself like that. And yeah, I'm just gonna watch it on there. That's it. And then but no, I'm not gonna send it to anybody or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. You would have to like anyway. What I'm getting at is you'd want to get like a setup to stream. Like you'd want to get a position for your camera, and you'd want to be able to set up a monitor so you could watch um chat room, so you could interact with your viewers if that's something you're even interested in doing. But I mean, obviously you could stream without doing any of that. But yeah, that's what I would recommend is just figuring out like a good like camera angle where you can capture a lot of what you're doing, and then you'd have to set up a monitor. But you could do really sophisticated stuff with that. You could do a face cam. I mean, since you have a modular rig and it's pretty sizable, I would try to get like a multiple cameras, honestly. I try to get one for close-up stuff so you can see what your hands are doing, that you could kind of adjust in real time. And then, so basically you would just need like a tripod or some kind of rig where you could adjust the camera. They make these kind of inexpensive, like, oh, you don't have iPhone. Never mind. All right, forget it. Not even gonna go into it. Let's just go back to this. You don't have a camera, yeah. All right. So we're at -8, so I'm gonna bump this up an octave or two. Oh, but I don't know what my scale is. I know I'm in tune, but I don't know if I'm in. All that stuff I was talking about, I was talking crap about JI. All that stuff applies here because I have a scale. I don't know where my root is in the scale. There's an easy way to figure this out, though. Kind of. All right, we're good. All right. Am I just overthinking this? Go up an extra octave. Let's all right. Getting some carnival vibes going. Let's make this patch sound slightly better. That's beautiful. It's like a baby was just born. All right. You know, this needs too much compression. Alright, it's almost... It needs distortion. Let's see which one I want to try. I want to try this because it's new. Nice. Maybe some reverb to make the distortion wet. I have an idea. I want to try my convolution reverb on this. Oh, cool, actually. This is like trippy almost. Because it gives it just like just a smidge of like space. I don't know how to put it. Very odd because it's such a dry, computery synth. Distortion is a good reason to do JI. I do like distortion and JI. I mean, distortion is like, I guess, a lot of times it is JI. The harmonics that it amplifies are. One thing that I was messing with before I started streaming and stuff was I would do a JI scale and I would like just soak it in distortion and like you can find the difference tones like on the keyboard. Like I would like find two notes. I would try to play two notes that would create a difference tone, and then I'd find the difference tone on the keyboard. And what always blew my mind was that the difference tones always have the same timbre as what you're playing. Like they're like literally indistinguishable from like playing the note. And that just blows my mind that it works out that way, because I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it just you'll literally hear a note you're not even playing, but it's there. The note is there. and you know, you're playing 2 notes, but you're hearing 3, and that note is like, you know, a lot of times it's like way down in the bass. Then you go and you play the note, and like you hear it, like you play the actual note, and you're like, oh, that's what I heard when I play these 2 notes up higher on the keyboard. But it's like, why is it sound like that, and not like a sine wave or something? But I guess it makes sense. Like, why would it sound like a sine wave? I don't know. Unless you're playing sine waves. So I think the thing I'm really missing now is a pitch bend. And that's obviously too much. So somebody is like a little too sensitive right now, and it looks like it's this guy. So we'll lower that. That sounds better. I want to hear like straight 16th note. I just can't play the instrument. I'm just not good at the instrument. Kind of don't hear them. Yeah, I was looking for them. I was just curious. You probably they probably popped up. When you're doing JI, they just pop up. But it's like you'll be like if you're playing a keyboard and you're playing and you don't always notice it because it just kind of happens as you're playing. If it's like an unfamiliar scale or something, like, you know, so, to some extent you're kind of just pressing buttons and seeing what happens. But, you know, if you start looking for them, it's like if you're playing a couple notes, you might end up actually hearing a note that you're not playing. And then it's like you only hear that note when you're playing specific two notes or whatever. And so you play one of the two notes, and then you hear another one of the two notes. I should do it on stream. I don't know if I want to do it right now though. But that would be a fun thing to do. Maybe we should just do it. Yeah, you can definitely like hear them. But you'll just like hear the note that's not being played. Maybe we should hunt for some difference tones on stream. That'd be fun. Okay. What do I have for JI tunings? Do I want to keep any of this? I don't know. Probably not. What is this called? Orgon? Nope. Yeah, what time is it? Should I don't know if I want to do this right now. I'm debating it. I kind of want to play, I kind of want to learn more songs. Maybe we can find some really quick. I don't want to sit here and like hunt for them and then try to figure out why we're not hearing them and then realize it's because it's the wrong kind of distortion or blah blah blah. But maybe we'll just hear them real quick. Turn off the pitch bend. Alright. I know I have some. So if I just boot up like a low limit JI subset. Here we go. So here's harmonics 16 through 32. So I'll let's do like 16 Edo on here. And it's not obviously the same, but just do it like that. And then sync this up as well. See a variable. There we go. Oh, I heard one. Did you hear it? You hear it? You can hear the high one. Do you hear that? That high note, I'm not playing that. That note is like right there. It's actually a little lower. It was playing that note. You hear it? Did you hear that note in there? It literally it's playing that note an octave higher. So I don't hear it every time. If you play it like just right, it'll work for some reason. I can hear one there too. It's a lower one. It's like in there, kind of. It was like there. But like really quiet. Can you hear that? Is this note, which was just like this up an octave. I'm literally just playing 3 notes. I'm not changing them. And sometimes you'll hear like that extra octave up. And I can hear that. It's really faint. That's not even in what I'm playing. That's this note. That's the 21st harmonic. We're literally just doing 7/4 and an extra 1. But like difference tones are a big reason why, like if you listen to the Well-Tuned Piano by Lamont Young, I don't even know if you can find it anymore. But actually someone recently did their own version, like they did their own song with the Well-Tuned Piano tuning and does some really similar stuff. But Lamont Young would like sit on one chord for like a really long time and like just keep replaying the notes like over and over again, like this kind of. You just do like tremolos basically. So you'd find like a nice chord, not like riff raff like I'm doing right now, but something like this maybe. And it just play like the same chord over and over and over. Yeah, it used to be free. It used to be free. Like not even that long ago. Anyway, he does like that. I'm not really hearing anything doing that right now, but I read that a big reason he would do that was because it you would bring out the difference tones because they're not like reliable. I don't know if there's a way you can like mask. I'm sure there's a way you can like figure out how to get them to line up. It's probably like it's got to be like how the sound waves are lining up together. It has to be like just so. So it must be like when you specifically hit all the notes, it brings out certain difference tones based on how they line up together. But yeah, difference tones are super interesting because they don't even physically exist. It's actually like all in your head. It's like your brain like interprets them. I think. I'm pretty sure that's true. But yeah, it'll just like add them and subtract them and blah blah blah. So anyway, I do want to do some 22 Ito before I go. I've been streaming for a while, so I don't know how long I'm gonna go. I kind of want to just take a really quick 3 minutes to run to the restroom. So I'll pull up some music. I'll actually pull up that thing I was just talking about, that 7-limit piano thing. If I can find it. Oh, here it is. This is something different, but it's by the same guy.
Hi, my name is Jacob Adler, and I would like to demonstrate one of an infinite number of tunings for the piano, a 13-limit just intonation recipe that I used for a composition of mine a few years ago called Opus Claviblast.
Let me find the one. Yeah, this is the well-tuned piano tuning, but obviously not the actual well-tuned piano. It's something this guy came out with. Yeah, I'll be back in a sec. This is what Lamont Young does like a bunch. It's like, hit the same notes over and over again. I can't really tell here, but when you listen to the well-tuned piano, you can actually hear some of the difference tones, like popping in and out. It's really kind of trippy and pretty interesting. But yeah. Anyway, if it's in JI, they'll definitely pop up here and there. But you have to consider too, like you don't necessarily want that, you know. Like that's actually as neat as that is. It's like if you're writing a piece of music, like you want to hear the notes that you're playing. You don't want to like hear like random notes above and below. You know what I mean? Even though they are kind of likely to fit, but like you don't really have that problem with 12 Ito because the notes are not close enough in tune to even produce difference tones. At least as far as I'm aware. I'd love to be corrected on that, but as far as I know, that only really happens if you're like in JI, and I don't think it even really happens much in like higher limit JI, although maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't actually know. But I've never noticed it doing like higher limit JI stuff. Um, but yeah, so for the rest of the stream, I'm gonna do some more. I'm learning this 22 Ito layout, so it's gonna be a little bit. Oh dang, that's crazy. It's gonna be a little different. I'm just gonna be doing reading some easy pieces for piano, but on the linnstrument. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, I'm kind of stuck on this because it's got this crazy. So playing these chords walking down on piano is not too difficult. I mean, for a beginner, it can be kind of tough, but it's actually pretty straightforward. But on the instrument, it's kind of difficult, even though they're all the same shape, more or less. Two minor triads and a major chord. Since I'm in 22 Ito, I'm actually doing two different types of chords for those two minor chords. And then also just the position of the notes is kind of awkward. So it's just something that on piano would be quite straightforward is actually kind of difficult to do on here. And then they have to be a little fast, which makes it even harder. So I've just been practicing that. And it may just be evidence that this layout is trash, but it's not enough to stop me yet, anyway. So there's not going to be a perfect layout. The thing I like about this one is that it does have a lot of range, and most stuff is pretty straightforward to do. It's easy enough to play scales and just basic chords, at least arpeggiating them. You know, going like 1, 4, 5 is not too hard, I don't think. No, it's not. Yeah, a lot of simple stuff is quite easy to do on here. But this just happens to be like a weakness of this particular layout. And in fact, in some keys it'd probably be straightforward. But in this key, it's just doesn't work out well. But it is doable. That's good. Man, that part's really hard. So if I keep it a little slow. Better. Kind of messed up the ending. Stuff like that makes me think of buying an upright and retuning it. Oh, that'd be sick, yeah. I mean, you don't play piano anyway. Why wouldn't you? You definitely could do that. I retune my electric piano. I don't mean my keyboard. I have like a it's called a Yamaha CP60. And yeah, that thing sounds sick. I actually want to stream with that. Like I need to once I get another camera and I need to like be able to move my at least one of my monitors around. Once I get that stuff, which I'll do around the time I get a Lumitone for sure. Then I'm gonna start like doing more stuff on stream, like probably some electric piano stuff and maybe regular piano too sometime. That was good enough. Okay, so we'll keep going with this. See, I'm doing this to learn this layout because I want to be able to just kind of play in 22 Edo. You know, at least right now. And, you know, not have to think really hard about what I'm doing. Yeah, as you can see, certain basic stuff is pretty straightforward. And because this is isomorphic, like when you learn one pattern, it applies to every other key, so you really don't even have to learn the same amount. Yeah, certain keys are just like weird to play. Some are not. Oh, look, that was there we go. Yeah, on the linnstrument, like I'm wanting to do like piano fingerings and stuff, which a lot of times for me are gonna seem more intuitive, even if they don't actually make more sense on this instrument or controller or whatever. So but yeah, like on an instrument, it might make more sense to do like keep one hand low and then one high, like. But I'm just not used to that kind of pattern. It might be more efficient and faster in the long run, though. But I don't actually know. And like doing this seems like awkward, but it's actually pretty much fine. That's more like what you would do on a piano. There's other options too. You could do like. That's pretty nice too, actually. It's got the swoop under, which is odd. You wouldn't do that on a piano, you'd cross over. But here it wouldn't make sense to cross over. So I think the swoop under would be legit. Yeah, that way it kind of makes a lot of sense. Something like that. I don't really see the point in trying too much. Although in some instances you want to do kind of a less friendly or intuitive fingering. Just because in the context of what you're doing, it makes more sense. But anyway. So here's a new song. So this is an A minor, so anytime something's an A minor, I've just been playing it in down A minor, because that's more or less the parallel minor to, to C major in 22 Ito. So we don't actually start there, we're going to start below middle C. And this is a G chord. An F chord. And an E chord, which in this case will be down E. And then the main melody. And then a G, B. have G sharp. This is the G sharp. That's part of an E chord. So something like that. These are an octave lower. Three, I don't think I have the next E down. Oh wait. It says both hands an octave lower. So this is my lowest E. So the only way to play this in the full range would be to start it an octave higher. I'm not sure that I can do that either. I'll try it though. Let's see. What's that E chord? Then G. I could pitch everything down an octave so it actually was correct. Anyway, I'm about ready to go. Appreciate everybody who watched tonight, hung out. Blah blah blah. I'll be back tomorrow doing more of the same. Not gonna do a 3-hour, 3.5-hour stream. I'll just do it. Just go back to 2-hour streams for the rest of the week. But yeah, I'll be mixing some Doom Salad playing some linnstrument, do some ear training, maybe read some RTT. I don't know. Might wait till I'm done mixing to really get back into that, or just do it when I especially feel like it. Yeah, the RTT stuff is definitely cool, but definitely at a point where I definitely don't understand why I'm even learning what I'm learning at the moment. All right, anyway, have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. I'll be back tomorrow. Goodbye.